You ready, you too? In 3, 2.
Welcome to SuperTalk, the weekly podcast dedicated to news and reviews of comic book media on the big and small screen. This is Holy Crap, episode number 30. I'm your host, Professor Brian Pettis, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Titanium Tony Estrella. Titanium, episode 30!
Is that the official title? Holy Crap, episode 30?
Yeah.
Holy Crap, episode 30?
This is episode Holy Crap 30, yeah.
Unbelievable. Episode 30, how great is that? Let's just keep knocking them out. Yeah, it is a good feeling.
It's a good feeling.
I feel like it's a milestone for us, isn't it?
I think 30 is a good milestone. I think episode 52 will be a good milestone. Because that'll mean, like, hey, we got through a year's worth.
Right.
And then from there, I think we're just worried about, like, 100.
It's
right?
all cake, yeah. From there, 52 and then 100. All cake from here on out.
Yeah. And we are so happy that we're here. So we want to start off, as we do every week, by thanking our primary sponsor, Studio GG Studios, home of the man band, Corn on the Cob. Please visit their YouTube page. We always put a link to it in the show notes. We want you to just check them out, support them, give them a like, give them a favorite. Animal names, right?
Animal names, lip smacking lips, all kinds of new stuff.
Lip smacking?
Lip smacking, animal names, lip smacking lips. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But thank you. And
absolutely. Great partnership. Thank you so much, Studio GG Studios.
And we also want to thank our other sponsor, BSB. Love the hats, love the shirts. Great swag, lifestyle brand. Bringing sexy back. Big sexy bass that Titanium's catching in the lakes and the ponds out here. BSB. You visit them at bsbswag.com, bsbswag.com. Check out their stuff. It's really cool. Fits really well. Looks really great. And thanks for helping us up and helping us out.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a page from their book and open up a little store of our own so that people can buy some SuperTalk stuff.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking, right?
Now we're cooking with oil. Then we're a lifestyle brand at that point in time, right?
Well, we're not really a lifestyle brand. We're more of a nerd movement.
And then finally, we want to thank the listeners that bring the show to you. Those are our patrons. Patreon.com/SuperTalk. You want to support the show directly, you can. It's only $1 episode. It really doesn't take too much. And you can start whenever you want. You can stop whenever you want. It's $1 episode. And guess what? Those people who are patrons of our show right now are going to be part of a special giveaway we're doing today. So thank you for supporting the show. You are going to be getting some SuperTalk swag in the mail. Everybody who's on the patrons list, you're getting SuperTalk swag from us directly to you. So thank you for supporting the show. We really appreciate it. And along those lines, we've got a bit of an announcement we've been teasing a little bit here for the last few weeks. Something to talk about, that I know Titanium's been working really hard on. And we've got some good news and some potentially not so good news, but it's good news all around. So hit it. Let's hit it.
The Comic-Con news?
Yeah.
All right, we were going to save it, but I love it.
No, episode 30.
Episode 30?
This was the announcement.
Okay, I got short-term memory problems. So Fairfax Comic-Con, SuperTalk will have a table and will be live at Fairfax Comic-Con. I believe it's August 28th. Tentatively, yeah. They keep
That's
coming.
The sort of bad news.
The bad news is that they're still with COVID restrictions. They're still limited in their capacity and what they can do and what they're willing to do. So we're on pins and needles, but we have a spot reserved. We're just waiting to see if it comes through or not. At Fairfax Comic-Con. Come see us. The professor and I will be there answering questions, doing a little filming, doing a little content gathering.
We're going to do a live show from Comic-Con.
Sure.
So that's something we're going to do. We're going to meet the listeners, introduce people at Comic-Con to our show. We'll be giving away some stuff there. So, come by and visit us. As it stands now, the Comic-Con is scheduled for the last weekend in August.
Yeah.
Again, tentatively. They're still working out the bugs and the kinks and everything that's going on with the COVID restrictions right now, but this is going to happen. If it doesn't, they said, what they told us was, if it doesn't happen in August, it may just be delayed a month or a few weeks. It might happen in September or something like that.
Yeah, they'll probably push it back. I don't know how far back, and I don't know what they're planning on right now. But we're just going to play it by ear. But yeah, Fairfax Comic-Con. at the, I think it's the Dulles
Expo
Center in Chantilly, Virginia. We'll be there, so please come and join us. We'll talk about it a little bit more.
If you've not been to a Comic-Con, some are a little more tame than others, but I'm sure they're going to have plenty of events going on. There'll be lots of vendors there, so if you're looking for swag, merchandise, you want to look for comic books themselves, heck, maybe I'll bring some out, and people offer me lots of money for my awesome collection, but we'll see if that happens. But we'll be there. We'll have a booth, and again, we're going to do a show from there. So we're really excited about it, and can't wait to meet some of our fans, meet our audience, and introduce new people to our show. So that'd be great.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a chance for us to get in front of some fans that have been asking, and also meet some new people. I'm excited. I hope that happens. Fairfax Comic-Con.
All right. Well, let's get into it this week. We'll start with the news and reviews section as we do every week. And man, did we have some news hit the wire this week. Holy crap.
Dropped a bomb on us, right? A lot of people asking me about this. I said, you know what? Listen to the show if you want to know how I feel about it.
Yeah, so the big news this week was that Scarlett Johansson sues Disney over a breach of contract for her movie Black Widow. Huge news for her to come out and really challenge Disney. Now, let's be clear. She's works for Marvel Studios.
Correct.
But she is suing Disney.
Correct.
So Disney owns Marvel Studios, but that's who she's going after. She's going after Disney, not specifically Marvel Studios.
The parent company.
Right. And she came out publicly and filed a lawsuit saying that Disney breached the contract that she had with Marvel Studios in regards to how she was going to be paid for Black Widow.
Right.
So we'll kind of start with I'll read their official statement, but we'll kind of start with a little bit of what we know. She was paid a $20 million salary.
Yes.
For this movie.
Correct.
So before anything else was done, she got paid $20 million just to make the movie and be in it.
That's it.
So that salary,
the base pay was $20 million.
Guaranteed, no matter what, she was getting paid. And that, by the way, was more than anything she's been paid for any previous Marvel movie since before this. So I think she topped out, I think, at $15 million for Infinity War and Endgame.
Uh-huh.
But $20 million was her top billing for Marvel movies. So that's great and good for her. But she was also listed as an executive producer on the movie.
Right.
And as an executive producer, she was also going to be getting a share of the box office for a theatrical release.
Correct.
So part of her compensation as a producer was tied to the theatrical
box office release
and the box office receipts. And as we know, the movie was released simultaneously on Disney Plus and as Premiere Access and in the theaters at the same time.
Correct. It did very well the first weekend it was released in the theaters, and then after that, it absolutely tanked in the theaters.
Tailed off substantially.
Substantially. It was the most pirated movie. The Disney Plus premiere went up, the theater went down, so that's part of this as well.
And I believe that I don't have the exact numbers, but I do believe the movie to date has made somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 to $350 million worldwide.
Yes,
so
worldwide.
It's done okay. It's nowhere close to Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame numbers of over $1 billion, worldwide.
Even Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
but
it's done okay, but understandably, due to the pandemic, no movie right now is doing fantastic. I think F9 was the movie that they cited. Fast and Furious came out with F9. That was a theatrical only release, and it's done somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 to $900 million worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's done pretty well.
It's done pretty well
comparatively.
I think. Well,
and that's part of the argument.
Yeah, let's give the facts first. Let's give what Disney's rebuttal was, and then let's talk about what her lawyer said.
So her initial lawsuit claimed that Disney intentionally breached the contract that she had with Marvel Studios, and I'll read a statement from them. Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of the agreement without justification in order to prevent Ms. Johansson from realizing the full benefit of her bargain with Marvel. It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly onto Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost the company's stock price, and that it's hiding behind COVID-19 as a pretext to do so. This is John Berlinski, who's an attorney for Scarlett Johansson, and that's the statement that he made. But ignoring the contracts of the artists responsible for the success of its films and furtherance of the short-sighted strategy violates their rights, and we look forward to proving as much in court. This will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has a legal obligation to honor its contracts. So that's the statement from Scarlett Johansson. So again, what they're claiming is they were told they were getting a theatrical release and there was going to be a theatrical only release.
Yeah, she's tied into that money, so that's what they were told.
And by releasing it simultaneously on Disney Plus, that cut into the theatrical release numbers, which ultimately then kind of brought down the revenue that she was able to make on the box office receipts.
Yeah, and I know what a lot of you are thinking. Well, she got paid $20 million. That's not the point. The point is that she was contractually obligated to, right?
And oh, by the way, I'm just saying, go back about 6 or 7 or 8 episodes in SuperTalk, and we exactly talked about this.
Correct.
The reason why so many studios have been reluctant to release these movies to straight to streaming and not going to the theater. They were waiting for the theaters to reopen. Is because of the riders that these actors and actresses had in their contracts. They have these riders in their contracts that say, we're going to pay you this much money to be in the movie, but we're also going to give you a percentage of the revenue that you get in the box office. Well, COVID has crushed those riders and said, they're like, well, that means nothing anymore. So the studios are like, we just want to make our money back. We'll do it straight to streaming. And the actors and actors are like, oh, hang on a second. You're now taking away a source of revenue for me as an actor. Beyond the salary you already paid me. I was supposed to get some money out of here. So we knew that this was a problem. We always have been asking, why aren't they just put it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
What's the hesitation? And now we know. This is one of the reasons why they didn't do that.
Right.
Now, that being said,
correct.
I have a feeling that Disney and Marvel gave her a percentage of the Premier Access revenue as a way to make her whole. Because they say something to that fact in their statement, which I can read.
Yeah, read their statement.
So Marvel fires back, or Disney fires back again, not Marvel. Disney fires back and says, there's no merit whatsoever to this filing, and Disney said this in a statement Thursday. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Disney has fully complied with Ms. Johansson's contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. So their statement basically is saying two things. One, shame on you, Scarlett Johansson, for filing a lawsuit during the COVID-19 pandemic that's crushed our industry, and we're lucky we're even around.
Right.
That's what they're saying. It's like, shame on you for taking advantage of a situation that's been killing our industry, and we're just trying to get out from under it.
Let's make something very clear here. There are lawyers involved. So shame on the lawyers for convincing Scarlett Johansson. But still, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that's the one statement. And I think there's part of me says there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Like, look, this has been hard for everybody in Hollywood the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you really need to make it harder for movies to try to, or studios to try to recoup the money they've invested in these projects? That's part of me says that. And the other part of me is like, look, you still have a contract you got to live up to. So don't, hide behind the COVID-19 pandemic as a reason for breaching the contract. So there's two sides to that story.
There are definitely two sides. I see both sides. But
I do.
Here's where I fall. Here's my opinion on the whole thing. It's a business. It is a business. I think she is making a statement for the rest of these actors and actresses and people that are involved in movies that they put their heart and soul in, and they are tied into the box office tally. So I think it's a business decision. I think Marvel, obviously, because they were getting crushed in social media, they came back with that statement, that kind of harsh, kind of, hey, let's put this where it belongs. But this is a business, people.
But they also claim in their statement that she is benefiting from the Premier Access tallies. They said that it's increased her ability to make money.
So I think her angle is watching F9 and how well it did in the global box office, make $800-900 million, as opposed to the Disney Plus revenue that probably brought in maybe 80,000.
They said 80 million, 80 to 90 million.
90 million, as opposed to 500 million in the box office. I think it was probably more beneficial for her if they had just done theatrical worldwide. And it probably would have done she probably would have made a hell of a lot more money. But this is a business. I know for a fact, this is from a Marvel insider, that Kevin Feige went to bat for Black Widow and said that...
Went to bat for Scarlett.
Went to bat for not just Scarlett, but
he did not want the movie to be released on Disney Plus.
He did not want the movie to be released on Disney Plus. He wanted it to be completely in the theater, and he was upset about it, and he voiced his opinion about it.
And he specifically said he didn't want to upset the talent.
Correct.
He said that. His statement was, I'm not happy with Disney's decision to release it simultaneously. I do believe we should have a theatrical only release for this movie, and as fans, we're pissed off at that because they've been delaying these movies for so long because of that reason.
Yes.
They could have put every one of these movies on Disney Plus months ago.
Yes.
We could have gotten Black Widow on Disney Plus last summer.
So why release it simultaneously? If you're going to release it simultaneously, why didn't you just put it on Disney Plus
a year ago?
Renegotiate her contract, and put it on Disney Plus.
Why make us wait this long?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Why make us wait this long?
As fans were upset about that, but Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, or at least the creative director of Marvel Studios, he went to bat for Scarlett Johansson and other actors that this could be an issue. I think they're going to release Eternals, I believe, right? Are they going to release Eternals both Disney Plus? No? Oh, then that's good. But
I think for the rest of the year, it's going to be theater only.
That'd be great.
Unless things get really bad again, which they could. And, we are seeing some retractions of some of the lifting of restrictions. We're seeing restrictions coming back into place. We're seeing mask restrictions coming back. We're seeing masks becoming more popular. Now, we aren't seeing businesses close.
No.
But, I don't believe there are any more plans for the rest of the year to release any of these movies simultaneously on Disney Plus.
Personally, no judging. You do you. I'm going to do me. But face diapers for me, I'm out. I don't like face diapers anymore. I'm done with them. I don't want to wear them anymore. They're horrible. They're irritating. But I get why people want to wear them. I get why people need to wear them. But I'm out.
Well, yeah, I'm literally going to Disney World tomorrow, and as of before last week, the only restrictions, mask requirements were on public transportation. If you're riding the bus or you're riding the tram or you're riding, you had to wear the mask.
That has changed.
Yeah, last Friday. They changed it and said anywhere indoors on Disney property, you have to wear a mask now.
Unless you're eating or drinking.
Yeah, if you're sitting down at a restaurant eating or drinking. Yeah. But we're like, are you kidding?
Well, I hear even in lines now, even if you're outside in a line, there's no social distancing, but you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So, but still, hey.
But again, getting back to this, I don't think there's any plans to do simultaneous releases. And Kevin Feige's point was valid in that, look, we negotiated these deals with these actors and actresses to make them whole and take care of them. Look, if Black Widow had been released last March, like it was supposed to, or May, I can't remember the original date was May, I believe, last May, when it was supposed to be released, and there was no COVID-19, it would have done, let's say conservatively, $700 to $800 million in the theaters. It would have done pretty well.
I don't know. I think it would have done over $500 million for sure.
Sure, there you go, $500 million
on a great day. $800 million. I mean, great.
Not day. This is like global over 4 weeks.
But I'm just saying
exclusivity.
Was it that good of a movie?
No.
Did you feel like? Okay.
No.
All right. So
I don't think it deserved. And I think that's why some of this pisses me off. In that, number one, we were saddled with over a year's worth of a delay for this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. And it wasn't that effing good.
Wow.
So she's, now they made $290 in the theaters, and she's complaining that we could have done more if it was theatrical only.
Probably true.
Maybe $500.
Yes.
But it wasn't good enough to make more than that.
500 would be where I put it. 700 probably high end 800, the highest end. Just theatrical release
Yeah.
only. Worldwide, I'm talking too, not just domestic box office.
I'm with
Worldwide.
you though, Titanium. It's like, look, if you're going to put it on Disney Plus with Premier Access simultaneously, why'd you wait a year?
And why didn't you renegotiate her contract
I think
to make her
they did.
whole?
They did, but they did. They said, we're going to give you a percentage of the Premier Access numbers as well. And they did. They did that. I think they did that with all these actors. The only way they could make that happen. But it didn't make them whole.
Right.
And I think that's what she's upset about,
Yeah.
is that the difference between, the percentage she's getting of $290 million and the percentage she's getting of Premier Access 60, 70, 80 million, whatever it ended up being, is nowhere close to what it would have been if it were $400 to $500 million in the theaters. Right?
Could this be a little whiny, like
Absolutely.
my movie should have done better?
Absolutely.
It would have done 900 million.
Well, who's the other actress is now rumored to be considering a very similar lawsuit? Cruella.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Crushed. Number one, it was a terrible movie.
I didn't even watch it.
Terrible movie.
And I love her.
Yeah. So, she's also now considering suing Disney over
Well,
that.
we'll see how this lawsuit goes.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are waiting to see how this goes. But, it's been a huge controversy in Hollywood, these streaming services, period. Because they make so much more money when it's a theatrical release, and it only benefits it benefits the parent companies more so than the actors and actresses.
Because the parent companies are getting more subscribers, which
Correct.
is a long-term
game. It's a long-term game with streaming. And you're right. And it's been a point of contention. And this is every article you read, you'll hear something about it. About, this has been controversy, the streaming controversy. Streaming content has been a controversial thing with Hollywood. And this is the dark secret of Hollywood that people are disgruntled about it. So, okay. So, bottom line is, I see both sides. My opinion, I see both sides. It's a business. I think this was a lawyer decision to jump into this.
Absolutely. And I think Scarlett Johansson's lawyers saw
an
opportunity.
Sure.
And now Emma Stone is sitting there thinking, well, what happens with this?
If this happens, I might do the same thing.
But Emma, your movie sucked.
Yeah.
Look, my wife and daughter tried to watch it, and they stopped halfway through because it was terrible.
I didn't
And so
even
don't cry that your theatrical release numbers were sabotaged by the Disney Plus Premier Access. Come on, your movie was terrible. It was terrible.
I mean, is this...
Look, Jungle Cruise comes out this weekend. It looks terrible. Don't think that this movie would have just crushed it in the theaters, because bad movies are not going to do well in the theaters. I don't care where you release it.
And I think Black Widow was a decent movie. I just don't think it... I think they're whining because it didn't win a medal and they just got a participation.
The point is, a bad Marvel movie will make $500 million in the theaters.
Correct.
And that's her point, is that even if the movie wasn't well received, even if it didn't do as well as we hoped in the theaters, it still would have done so much better than what I got paid for. And that's their complaint.
Yeah. No, and I can see that. And again, I'm not faulting Scarlett Jo for taking a shot, but this is lawyer-driven, and it's a business-driven decision, and I get that.
And interesting, she's going after Disney
and not Marvel Studios.
Yeah. And again, I think part of that is her relationship with Kevin Feige. I think they have a good relationship, and I think Kevin Feige, to your point, did not want to put this on Disney Plus.
No.
And he's like, let's do theater for a couple weeks, and we'll see how it does, and then we'll put it on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah. Bob Iger is out at Disney. The new guy's in. Let's take a shot at the new guy and see what he does. So,
all right.
Whatever.
Okay, well, let's move on to other news, and hopefully we put that lawsuit to bed. Well, I'm sure we're going to hear more from it. There's no question.
This is just the beginning of this. We're going to hear this.
Yeah. But you got some set photo releases from Wakanda
Forever,
right?
Yeah, a couple of set photos, and it looks like a giant tomb room. And Tomb room. So it's not necessarily the throne palace room. It's more like a tomb. And we think King T'Challa is there. Some people have deciphered the African lettering and wording on the columns, and it indicates that room is King T'Challa, rest forever, forever in power, that kind of thing, like an homage to him. So we think that they're going to address his death
in the movie.
In the movie, they're going to address his death and come and give you some closure to that, which is great. I think that's a smart thing to do.
So what we've been told is that they're not recasting the role. We're not going to get a new T'Challa. That Chadwick Boseman, his tragic death, is going to be addressed somehow in the movie. Now, whether that's woven into the plot, does the beginning of the movie address him dying and how he died, and that's how the movie starts? Is this the Atlanteans are the ones who are responsible for his death? I mean, we don't know any of that.
No.
But what we know
all
is
speculation.
That he will die, and we are assuming they're going to address his death and his passing in the movie, and then move on from there, and we're going to see other stuff.
I think that's what's going to happen. Here's what I also think is going to happen, and I'm not real crazy
Mephisto?
about it. No, I didn't bring him up. You did. I think what's going to happen is they're going to spend way too much time with this funeral, death. They're gonna pay it respect, and I'm all about paying it its time and its due time and respect.
So agree with you.
But to spend a half hour of the movie, please don't do that. Please don't spend a half hour of the movie with this overdone. Let's make people cry. Let's make people understand it. Look, the man was a great actor. Passed away tragically. He will be missed. No question about that. But this is a movie that we're paying money for the story. It's part of the story. It should be addressed. I applaud you for addressing it. But please don't spend half the movie in this big, multi-billion-dollar production on. Can you see it happening?
You're so right, Titanium.
Can you see?
This is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to spend way too much time on this funeral scene, trying to make us cry because they have to give their due respect to his passing.
I'm all about giving the respect, but don't eat up the majority of the movie with it, and I know they're going to do that. I know they're going to.
I think you're spot on. Oh. You've nailed it. I think you're spot on. They're going to do that.
And there are screenshots there's leaked photos of a giant tank. So we know they're filming underwater. We know they're filming water scenes, which is kind of confirmation about Namor. Giant tank
or submarine
tank.
So what does that have to do with underwater?
It's like a giant pool, a tank that they filled with water.
Not like tank.
Not like an army tank.
I was like, what do you mean giant tank? Yeah. Oh,
tank, water tank.
Tank of water.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so they're doing underwater scenes.
They're filming, yeah. So we know Namor is confirmed for this. I mean, we
Namor, the soccer player.
Oh, is he in this movie too?
That's you just said.
Namor. Sorry. I mispronounced his name, but he's going to be in the movie, right? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of confirmation that they are filming.
You would think that so many of the scenes they're filming are going to be underwater scenes for Atlantis, right? If
Absolutely.
They're introducing Atlantis and
here's another thing that they said is that the background of the Atlanteans are going to be Mayan-based.
Which makes a lot of sense because historically, the theory behind the lost city of Atlantis is that it was a Mayan temple that sank into the ocean.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
And they've kind of confirmed that. Insiders have confirmed that the history of Atlantis will have Mayan roots, which would be cool.
What's the difference between the Aztecs and the Mayans?
Aztecs and Mayans? Mm-hmm. Besides they're spelled differently? I don't know. I'm not a historian on Mexican history. Aztecs and the Mayans. I don't know. I think the Aztecs are Mexican and the Mayans, vice versa, right? So the Mayans were Mexican and the Aztecs were like South American, right?
Yeah.
Like Machu Picchu and all that.
Yep.
Which that's a bucket list for me.
Absolutely. Who if you haven't been, I mean, everyone wants to go there, right?
I do, yeah.
That place is awesome.
Well, it's like
Peru,
the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it's in Peru, yeah. It's like the Grand Canyon. You can see 1,000 pictures of it, but until you are there.
Physically in the
there,
presence of it, right?
Yeah. I hear it's magical, but okay. I digress. I want to go there. Anybody that wants to pay for me to go there, I'll do a live remote from...
Hey, you know what? But if BSB Swag gets so big... They may sponsor a trip, and all you do is wear BSB swag the entire time you're in Machu Picchu.
How great.
And you post it on social media, Hey, guys,
we won't
make it happen.
We'll hike like several miles to Machu Picchu. There's
in BSB shoes and shirts,
the whole swag,
and backpacks, and
I'll wear a sticker on my forehead the whole time. Shit.
All right. Well, yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for this, and again, we're going to get more and more out of Wakanda Forever. Hopefully, we get some details around plot. This is a movie that's slated to come out next summer, and therefore, I think as we get closer to the end of the year, we might get some teasers, maybe around the Spider-Man No Way Home timeline. We might get a teaser for Wakanda Forever, maybe a few scenes.
Well, you got something in the notes that might also be release time for a little teaser for that.
We'll see.
Right?
Right.
You want to get into that or no?
Yeah, we've got well, we can just hop to that one.
Yeah.
Marvel or Disney did come out and say that their D23 conference is scheduled for November 19th. So a couple of years ago...
Hey, Professor, what's D23?
So D23 is Disney's version of Comic-Con. So while they choose to participate in Comic-Con,
right,
this is kind of their in-house, here's what we're doing, everything that's happening at Disney across all of our properties. So it's not just, it's Marvel and Disney and everything they own, what's going on across their entire, it's their own kind of internal... private Comic-Con, basically. And I would say Comic-Con because it does include the Disney side of things, like Star Wars and Mandalorian and all the other things. Well, that's Comic-Con too. But regardless, they do participate in Comic-Con, but this is their way to do things by themselves. They can control this. Whereas Comic-Con controls everything.
Comic-Con controlled everything. I think they Comic-Con got huge, and it was a powerhouse, and it was a must-be place. And Disney realized that and was like, well, wait a minute. We're like 80% of this thing. You know, we're the big guns here. All of our announcements and everything are being blown out and going viral.
Hall H is filled with Marvel fans.
With Marvel fans and Disney fans. So we need to, this is an opportunity for us to, steal a little revenue away from Comic-Con. Also kind of build our own brand. So I think that had driving force.
Yeah, so the first, I'll say the biggest D23 that we got from Marvel or from Disney was 2 years ago. We got a pretty big presence from Marvel at Comic-Con, but we also got this huge D23 announcement. And that was like this, hey, we're coming up with these new characters, new stories, everything else. It's great. Last year, with the pandemic, Comic-Con was outright canceled. Yeah. San Diego Comic-Con was outright canceled. And instead of having a D23 conference, Disney had an Investors Day. And that's where Kevin Feige came on and did his whole kind of timeline of all the Disney Plus shows and all the movies that we're seeing kind of in the schedule right now. He did that last year. So we're
laid out phase 4.
Right. We're anticipating D23 this year. So a couple of things. San Diego Comic-Con is happening this year, but it is happening virtually.
Yeah.
They are doing a virtual Comic-Con. We've got some emails about that. There's some things that we're going to be able to kind of take advantage of and look at. But D23 has been announced for November 19th. We anticipate that not only are we going to get more details about Disney Plus shows that are coming and dates for those shows. Right now, we're going to go over this in our topic of the week this week. Some loose dates around some of the Disney Plus series that are coming. We're probably going to get some trailers. We're probably going to get some teasers, just like we did with the Eternals. Got kind of a little teaser a few months ago. Just hey, we got some real footage.
Yeah,
I think we're going to get some teasers for some of the movies we're seeing next year at D23 this year.
Yeah, I think they the last meeting that they had a little clip of Miss Marvel that had just started filming. Miss Marvel, the Disney Plus show. They had a little clip of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ms. Marvel's,
yeah. They had a little clip of that. But that's going to be, we know that's going to be released before the end of the year. And we know Hawkeye is going to be released, which we have a date already for Hawkeye.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that during the topic of the week because I have questions about that. Okay. How that's possible. But we'll get into that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're going to say, but
we did also get a little behind the scenes footage of them filming Batman, the Flash movie, and Ben Affleck's version of Batman riding the Batcycle.
Batfleck.
Yeah, Batfleck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's riding the Batcycle, or I don't know, stuntman, probably not Ben Affleck, but his version of Batman riding the Batcycle. They couldn't even turn it. It was hysterical watching it roll on the ground. But this is all part of the Flash movie, so that's fully now being filmed, and we're getting some of these behind the scenes footage of that movie. And
the Bat bike looks sick. It looks really cool, but not functional.
Yeah, it looks really cool, but I wouldn't want to ride it because I couldn't turn.
It looks like a jet engine that on two wheels,
right?
But it's got the fat wheels,
very similar to Christian Bale's version
but
of Batman.
A solid state, almost like a jet engine. What it reminds me of? It reminds me of what the chick rode in the Star Wars movie. Remember that thing that she was riding when she found B-28?
BB-8?
BB-8. When she found BB-8, she was riding that thing to the big...
Yeah. But you remember the version, Christian Bale's version of Batman, The Dark Knight, in that movie, when he had his Batmobile... And then he was able to have the cycle come out of the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It came out and had that. That's what this thing reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah.
Of that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, the whole thing looks like a giant jet engine.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Not functional at all, but it looks badass.
Yes.
But
again, we're probably going to get some more scenes from this, and again, the Flash movie we're looking forward to. The fact they're filming it is great. So
awesome.
Yeah. And we did get a new trailer for Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, we got that 2 days ago, I guess. We got a new trailer for Shang-Chi, and man, that movie looks good.
It really looks good. I'm more excited about that movie than I am The Eternals.
More scenes of him wielding some of the rings. If he had like 5 of them. More pictures of him, and he has a yellow glow. The rings have a yellow glow when he uses them, and his father has a purple glow when he uses them.
Like a blue glow.
Yeah.
Blue and yellow, yeah. I can't wait for this movie. It's gonna be
and we got a little bit of some more of the scenes of the fight competition and some other things. This movie just looks so good. I'm so excited for this, and we're a month away, and I'm just like I'm getting jazzed about it.
In those trailers when they kind of like all the best jokes in the movie they release in the trailer, I have a feeling we've only seen a small portion of great one-liners. From this movie.
Awkwafina's in this movie, and she's queen of the one-liners, right? And she had one in this most recent trailer. So, what happened to your shirt? And he's like, looking at
I don't know. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think I'm really looking forward to this, and a lot of people that I know are looking forward to it. Like, even non-Marvel fans are like, oh, a Kung Fu movie. Marvel's doing it. That looks awesome. Yeah. So, I can't wait for this.
I'm excited, man. So, yeah. All right, well, let's get into our topic of the week this week, and what we decided to do this week was... Let's go over what we know about Marvel, the MCU Phase 4. Here's what's happening in Phase 4, what's been announced, release dates, what series are coming, what is happening, what we know about when they're coming. And then we'll kind of allude to or kind of make some guesses as to some things that they're going to be doing for Phase 5. We don't know anything. No official announcements have been made, but we can at least make some assumptions based on some of the stuff that's come down so far. So where do you want to start? Well, I'll let you run the show here when it comes to schedule, so we'll kind of talk through a lot of it. So
yeah, let's talk through it, definitely. But so we know Phase 4, we got WandaVision already and Falcon and Winter Soldier. We already got that. And we got Black Widow. That was the movie that came out. And we got Loki, and we also have What If coming August 11th.
A week from Wednesday.
August 11th, we got What If, which is a Disney Plus series. So I'll go ahead and go through the movies remaining on Phase 4. We got Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. That comes out September 3rd, 21. Then we have The Eternals, November 5th, 21. Spider-Man, No Way Home, December 17th, 2021. Then in 2022, we have opening up for Phase 4 in 2022. We have Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, March 25th, and I think we're both pretty excited about that movie. And then we have Thor, Love and Thunder, which a lot of people are looking forward to, on May 6, 2022. So that's next year. And then we have Black Panther, which we know is in production now and filming now. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, July 8th, 2022. And then rounding out 2022 is The Marvels, November 11th. So it looks like what they're doing is 4 movies a year, 4 major movies a year, and a handful of Disney Plus series. So to end the movie in Phase 4, we know in 2023, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium, which we know Kang is going to be in that. That's already been announced. We also get Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in 2023. And we also, Kevin Feige has stated to close out Phase 4, he has stated this, close out Phase 4 is going to be the Fantastic Four. So we will get that in Phase 4, and more than likely that'll be 2023. Hopefully 2023.
Summer of 2023. I mean, if you follow the schedule that we've seen so far, movie early in the year, February, March timeframe, movie in the May timeframe to kind of kick off the summer, which we're getting in that same year. We're getting that for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then there's a summer movie, like a middle of July movie, like right in the middle of summer, and we believe that that's when that Fantastic Four movie is going to be released.
So it's something that hits me in the face, and I get that Fantastic Four will end Phase 4 in 2023. It's that there's only 3 movies out in 2023. So far. And there is still the Blade movie out there. We are going to speculate that it's going to be in Phase 5. But with only 3 movies in 2023, they could add a movie.
And we're thinking, I think Kevin Feige is going to stick to what he said, and that Phase 4 will end with the Fantastic Four in 2023. I think the kickoff of Phase 5 will happen in 2023, and it will be another movie in 2023.
Okay.
So I don't think that's the last movie we get in 2023. I just think that's the end of Phase 4.
Okay.
And there's some other speculation as to what that 4th movie of 2023 could be, and we'll kind of get into some of that.
Okay, let's go over the Disney Plus series that have been kind of announced for Phase 4 and TBD. A lot of them we don't have dates for. So we know What If is August 11th. We know Hawkeye is going to be November 24th, 2021. We know late 2021, Miss Marvel. Now, we've been told that Miss Marvel and Hawkeye will get a date.
You said this last week, right? You said that both Ms. Marvel and Hawkeye were going to be released this year.
Yes.
Before the end of 2021. We just announced, and we heard this a couple weeks ago, that Hawkeye's release date was November 24th, 2021.
Right,
which
correct.
Is right around Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So that would tell me that we're going through the end of the year. That's 6 weeks, of going to bring us through the end of the year. So if Ms. Marvel's coming out in 2021, as we've been told, one of 2 things is happening. It's coming out before Hawkeye, which I feel is more likely.
Agree.
Because we're going to get What If that's going to take us through kind of mid-September, right? So What If's going to, or end of September. They'll bring us to the end of September. If we get Ms. Marvel the beginning of October, that'll take us through mid-November, which flows right into the timeline for Hawkeye.
And we'll get the Eternals November 5th.
Right.
Then Hawkeye November 24th.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think that if we're going to get both those series this year, Ms. Marvel comes out before Hawkeye, and it is the runway into Hawkeye through the end of the year.
Okay.
I don't think there's... And the other option is they release it as Hawkeye is out, which I don't see them... Why would they do that? Why would they have 2 series
There's not enough
running
weeks.
No, why would they have 2 series running at the same time?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it.
Agree.
So, anyway, that's what I just wanted to say.
Hawkeye will put us into December.
Probably the last episode of Hawkeye will be the first week in January, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So there we go. So we know those. We know, again, all we've been told is Ms. Marvel and Hawkeye will come out this year, 2021. So I believe Ms. Marvel will come out before Hawkeye. They just haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll let you know. Then in 2022, we have Moon Knight early 2022.
Oh, my God.
She-Hulk early 2022.
And both of those are filming right now, by
Yes.
the way. They are both in production.
Yeah, we're getting set photos and speculation on... They just casted this French actor as Midnight Man? Yeah, Midnight Man
Okay.
for Moon Knight. Supposedly, he's a great actor. I've seen him. You recognize his face when you see him, but casting him as Midnight Man. Anyway, Moon Knight early 2022. She-Hulk early 2022, and no specific dates for these guys, just the year. Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special late 2022. You can imagine that's going to be around Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Well, and it's going to lead right into the Guardians of the Galaxy that's releasing that May of that next year. So it's going to. I think that holiday special is going to be, hey, what have the Guardians been up to since Endgame?
Yeah.
And let's lead into Thor: Love and Thunder / Guardians Volume 3.
Agreed. Right. I think that will be a precursor to that. And a lot of fun. I'm excited to see that. We got Secret Invasion 2022. And then we know that at TBA, we don't know a date or anything, but Ironheart, Armor Wars, and some kind of untitled Wakanda series. So I'm not sure if it's animated or not. We know that
Ryan Coogler's been tasked with a Disney Plus series based on some faction or factor of Wakanda. We just don't know what.
My feeling is going to be some kind of animated series, but you're right, we don't know what. But that is scheduled for Phase 4. So that's Phase 4. That's Phase 4 from...
So let's make some guesses. I'm gonna make some... Marvel's done a pretty good job of releasing these Disney Plus series serially and somewhat scheduled. They don't like to have an enormous lapse. As a matter of fact, the lapse that we're having right now between Loki and What If, a 2-week lapse, is pretty long.
Yeah, we're not going to see that again for the rest of the year.
3-week lapse, isn't it?
Yeah,
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, so we're not going to see that at all. So that being said, again, here's my guess. My guess is we get What If, then we get Ms. Marvel, then we get Hawkeye. That brings us through the beginning of next year. I think mid-January, they're going to start us off with She-Hulk. I think that's the one that's closer to being released. We're going to get that mid-January. That's going to bring us through end of February. And then to kick off March, we get Moon Knight. And you and I are both so excited for that to come out. It's going to be so spectacular.
Absolutely.
And then I do believe we get Secret Invasion sometime in 2022 before the holiday special. I think that Secret Invasion is going to run through some of those summer months in 2022. And then we'll get the holiday special in late 2022. And then I think Ironheart, Armor Wars, and this Untitled Wakanda series are going to happen in that 2023 timeframe.
Professor, Phase 4, give me, at this time, so what you know now at this time, Phase 4, give me top 3 that you're looking forward to the most out of this list we just went through.
Moon Knight, without question. Introducing that character into the MCU.
Huge.
And Oscar Isaac, I mean, getting him as the actor to play that role.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm just saying Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight is I just think it's the right actor for the right role. I mean, I'm just so excited for that. So
brilliant casting.
That's the one I'm most excited to. Secondly, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think that's going to set up a lot of what's going on through the end of Phase 4, and then Fantastic Four. I mean, those are the 3 that I'm most excited for. I mean, I got to figure out what Marvel's doing with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big shoe to fill. That's been
and some of the rumors you've read off of, they're going with a diverse cast and all these other. I mean, I got to see what they're doing.
Yeah,
I mean but I'm interested.
Those 3.
Yeah, those are my top 3. What
about you? I would lay it out as Shang-Chi. I think I'm just excited for that because I know a lot. At this point in time, I know a lot about it, and I'm very excited for that. I think that's going to be...
That's going to blow over... I think people are going to love that movie more than they ever thought they would.
I think so, too. I'm with you with Doctor Strange. That's another thing that I'm really looking for. And Moon Knight. So those are my 3 most anticipated. For me, at this time, what I know now, those are my top 3. So let's speculate a little bit about Phase 5. What we know and what we're going to speculate could be a part of Phase 5.
So the only thing we know for certain, well, I'll allude to one other we know to some extent, but the only thing we know for certain is Blade, the movie, has hired a director, and we know Mahershala Ali has been tasked to play that role, and that movie is coming in Phase 5. So we know that. Whether that's the movie that ends 2023, Is it possible? Absolutely.
Sure.
Is it possible it comes in 2024? Absolutely.
Maybe. We don't know.
We don't know. But we know that movie has hired a director. They've hired the actor to play the role. That's the one we know the most about. The other one we know the most about, and this is my guess for the movie that's going to end 2023, Deadpool 3.
Okay.
I think we know Ryan Reynolds is working on the script for Deadpool 3 right now. Like, they are writing Deadpool 3 as we speak. They've been tasked by Marvel to write this and get the movie kind of shotgun, get it going. I believe they will start filming this movie sometime next year, and this movie will be released as their first movie in Phase 5 going into that final part of 2023 right after Fantastic Four.
Huge kickoff. That would be huge.
And it would be the first Fox property to be introduced into the MCU. I just think they're banking so much, and they can't wait too long for that. I mean, it's been already 2 years since we saw Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
They can't wait much longer for that. They can't keep that rolling. They got to get going.
They can't redo that 6 years from now.
No. And so I think that's the movie that finishes 2023.
We also know Captain America 4 will be.
That's the other one that's been greenlit.
Yes.
So Captain America 4, and we think that there's some illusion that's been called like Captain America 4, the Serpent Society. They're going to introduce Serpent Society in that movie. There may be.
Sam Wilson will be Captain America.
But we might see Steve Rogers come back as Nomad. There's been a lot of speculation of what's going to happen in that movie and the plot behind it and where it's going. We have no idea. But we know that that's been greenlit and they're making it. So those are the three movies we know for sure are coming in Phase 5. Those three movies are coming in Phase 5 without question. Now, there's been a lot of rumors. And there's been a lot of talk of other things that might come in Phase 5, and that's what we're going to get into.
Yeah.
And so some of it will be rumors that we've heard. Some of it will be, this is what Titanium and the Professor want to see.
That's right.
Right?
More importantly, this is what we want to see. Right.
So the first kind of big rumor out there, and it's got to happen at some point in time. As a matter of fact, Kevin Feige alluded to it at his last D23 on stage presentation. He alluded to mutants. So he went through the entire. He brought at the end of the D23 announcements. He came out and brought Mahershala Ali on stage and told him he was going to play Blade, and this was like a big announcement. And he goes, "Oh, and we didn't even have time to talk about mutants." And then all of a sudden they're walking off stage. Right. And so we knew once the Fox acquisition was finalized that this was going to happen. We have no idea what their plans are for mutants. We have no idea what their plans are for an X-Men movie.
The show's going to be called Mutant. If it's going to be a Disney Plus series, if it's going to be a standalone movie.
The two mutant-related things that we've heard, or the rumors that we've heard, is number one, they're thinking about doing a Disney Plus series that's an anthology series for the Wolverine character. And this will go back in Wolverine's history from his origin all the way through kind of Old Man Logan times. And they may have different actors and actors playing Wolverine through these different time periods, which I think would be just spectacular. It'd be awesome.
That'd be very cool. And with the multiverse now cracked wide open, anything is possible. My prediction is they're going to start injecting mutants sideways into these stories that they're going to be telling us. I think we're going to start seeing more mutants injected sideways. But come on, X-Men, we're going to have some kind of. And
we've been told that maybe the first movie they come out with is called The Mutants,
right? And
they just introduce these characters and really kind of form what we know as the X-Men, right? And that would be fantastic. So they got to do something in Phase 5 with mutants. They have to. So it's going to happen. We just don't know how or what or where.
You can't buy and spend that kind of money for that brand and not capitalize.
Listen, people, the X-Men are some of the most popular characters in Marvel Comics.
Yes.
They were bought by Fox and owned by Fox for good reason, because they are popular characters. Marvel will not sit on these. They're going to do something with them.
No, they've run through Iron Man and Captain America.
B-list characters.
And Hulk and even B-list characters. They've run through those. Those weren't the most popular characters in the arsenal, Marvel's arsenal.
No.
X-Men are.
Spider-Man, Wolverine,
Yep.
X-Men,
Yep.
those, and again, we've seen how popular Deadpool is. I mean, these are popular characters, right?
Another speculation, and what the rumor is that there will be a Nova movie. They are going to introduce Nova, perhaps in the Guardians of the Galaxy, perhaps in one of the Phase 4
Richard
movies.
Rider, the version of Nova, and then the thought process is we may go back and see Thanos devastating Xandar the planet,
yeah.
and getting the Power Stone. We may go back in time, kind of see that happen, and see the Richard Rider version of Nova basically get his powers and become Nova, the hero. And then ultimately, maybe he's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, maybe he has his own movie, but we assume that character will show up somewhere at some point in time. I think he deserves his own movie. He's a very rich and deep character, has a long history in the comics. And there's other versions of Nova as well, not just Richard Rider, so we kind of go those directions. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
All the signs also are pointing to some kind of Young Avengers movie. They're introducing these characters. Titanium wants a Young Avengers movie. Needs it.
Let's look at who would be part of that team. From what we understand right now, let's say it's led by Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man kind of being the youngest version of an Avenger right now. Could lead that team. We know Kate Bishop's coming around. We know Stature is going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the version of Cassie Lang. She's going to be in that movie.
Scott Lang's daughter, Cassie Lang. Daughter. Stature.
Yep. We could have Morgan, who is Iron Man's daughter, who could become
the new Black Widow.
We have we have that. Well, I would see more of her in the Dark Avengers than I would see her in the Young Avengers.
Eli Bradley has been introduced. We know he plays the Patriot.
Yep, Eli Bradley. If we're going to have
Wiccan
Kang,
and Speed.
Wiccan and Speed. If we're going to have Kang, we could have Iron Lad, who's basically a younger version of Kang. So there's lots of ways that we could go in this direction. So, yeah. Namora from Wakanda Forever. So there's lots of different directions we can go.
And in that same breath, them introducing, we've also had a little tease of the Thunderbolts, maybe, right? That could be another Disney Plus or
movie.
I'm
going to use that as Thunderbolts / Dark Avengers.
I like it. I like it. No, I know exactly where you're going.
Been two different teams, and they've had two different histories in the comics. But I think with the way that they're painting this, what they call them, I think they're going to combine both of those to some extent. It's like
brilliant,
right? We've seen U.S. Agent, we've seen Yelena Belova. Those are two people that we think are going to be on that team to some extent,
right?
And whether they fill that team with villains who end up like Daniel Bruhl's version of Baron Zemo, or who ends
Baron
up,
Zemo.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do with the rest of the team, but. Could be Red Hulk. It could be, there's so many directions.
Could be Kid Loki. Yeah. Who knows?
Right. So we just don't know. But yeah, I think Young Avengers / Thunderbolts, whether they get their own movie or they're in some other movie, who knows? And then the other big rumor is, hey, Keanu Reeves, Ghost Rider, and this whole kind of concept of them doing this kind of magical, kind of dark version of Marvel characters.
They're going to bring in vampires with Blade. They've opened the door.
with Morbius.
And with Morbius. They've opened the door for this type of characters, and there's a huge, huge hole in stories today that I think the Mummy tried to fill, and I think they tried to fill that with some of that. But the storytelling of Marvel, it is ripe for the picking.
There's a team called the Midnight Suns that was built.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was part of it.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna have Moon Knight. We're gonna have Doctor Strange.
Yep.
We're gonna have Blade. We're gonna have Morbius. We're gonna have all the members of the Midnight Suns in the Marvel MCU. So hey, and Punisher was even part of that at some point in time too. It was just kind of funny, and hopefully he's coming back. So we'll see. And again, Ghost Rider. Look, they've talked. Keanu Reeves is going to be in a Marvel movie in some fashion or form.
We don't know what, and we don't know whether it's Adam Warlock or Ghost Rider.
I have a feeling this is the worst kept secret in Marvel history. He's going to play Ghost Rider.
I hope you're right.
Perfect role for him.
I hope you're right. I'm just, I also had Al Pacino as Mephisto. So I can't, the fans won't let that down. They keep teasing me about how I had Al Pacino as a guaranteed Mephisto.
That would have been so great.
Oh man, that would have been awesome.
All right,
Anyway.
well, that's anything else we're looking forward to?
No, let's ring the bell. That is it. Let's ring the bell and close out the show.
All right, well, that's it for Super Talk this week. We'll be back next week for more Super Talk, of course. To get in touch with us on social media, hit us up via email, supertalkpodcast@outlook.com, or at supertalkpod on Twitter. Until then, stay super, everyone. Look at that.
And we're out.
59:29.
Just under an hour.
You
Hey,
said
thanks a lot, YouTube. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Thanks for hanging in there.
You said let's keep it under an hour. We'll have a short one. We'll bring some more people.
I wanted to keep it at 35 minutes. But
good luck you and I getting together and not
yeah.
talking for only.
We didn't talk.
Sensitive Timmy.